In this video, you're about to witness a real ransomware negotiation with one of the most ruthless and prolific black hat hacker groups in the world. This is real.
Attention.
This is terrifying.
You have 24 hours to comply.
This is ransomware.
Good luck.
Ransomware, a word you've probably heard, but if you're like me, not one that you truly understand, until now. You hear the word ransomware and you might think of major corporations and unfathomable amounts of money. Just last year, MGM lost over $100 million in one of the world's largest ransomware hijackings, done by hacker group AlphV, also known as BlackCat. But what you might not know is ransomware can happen to anybody, including you. It can destroy people's life savings, it can destroy businesses, large and small, it can destroy lives. This is Ryan, also known as Zero Day. He's one of the top ethical hackers in the world, and he recently had a run-in with AlphV, or AlphV, I'm gonna call it Alpha, but not through MGM. In fact, not through a major corporation at all. AlphV recently took hostage the entire business and digital life of a local accounting firm run by an elderly man. While being demanded life-changing amounts of money for the ransom, this firm recruits the help of Zero Day to negotiate on their behalf. Will this man get his business back? Or will he lose everything he's spent his life building at the hands of this digital evil? In this video, we have the unique opportunity of witnessing a real conversation and negotiation with AlphV.
Greetings from Alpha, also known as BlackCat.
The exact same group that just rained down hell on MGM and many others.
After the timer expires, price will increase dramatically.
It's a literal hostage negotiation for the digital age, and we're diving in right now. What's really unique about this video is the fact that it even exists. Art, Connor, and myself were recently down in Miami filming some investigation videos with Social Catfish. Future video coming soon. And Ryan graciously invited us to his house, where we got to hang out, play with some of his toys, and film more content about the dark web. We did a video a few months back where Ryan taught us how to access the dark web and gave us a really scary insight into what exists down there. And we thought it'd be fun to revisit it right inside Ryan's very own lair and answer some of your questions from the original video. But that's not what we're doing in this video. You see, while we were filming, the topic of ransomware came up completely by accident. We were talking about hacking, Connor asked some random question about hacking slot machines, which then led Art to ask Ryan his opinion about the recent MGM ransomware attack.
Do me a favor and just blur all this out.
No, I won't. Yeah, no, I'll run it all by you.
Thank you.
But did I witness you get your own password wrong 3 times just now?
No, I was trying to type it wrong because I didn't want people to see it.
Oh, so it was intentional.
Yeah.
What is your intake on what happened recently to Las Vegas?
Oh gosh, with the
MGM.
ransomware?
Yeah. MGM?
Yes.
Did they saying that they pissed off some Russian mafia? And you know,
I mean, they were legit like shutting down room keys and stuff. Like people couldn't even get to their hotel rooms.
There's just so much to that. And I actually had a crazy occurrence. So the group that did that was AlphV, I believe that's pronounced, but the ransomware that was used in that attack was called BlackCat. Mm-hmm. And pen tester got an inquiry from I won't say the name, an accounting firm, and the accounting firm had this black hat ransomware on their entire infrastructure. So they wanted us to either remove the ransomware or to negotiate with the ransomware actors, which in this case was the same people that got MGM. Wow. And I think they got Caesars too.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, they did. How does a company that massive get hacked? Like, especially nowadays, like.
Yeah, so the way they got hacked was with social engineering, and something that most people should realize if they don't know, people are the weakest link of your company. So if you're not educating your employees, and if you are an employee of a company and you're not educated in social engineering, you need to be trained. So that's what happened to the casinos. Their systems are very complex but antiquated, based upon one employee having access to what they were able to take down. The entire thing was connected.
Now, I don't know shit about shit, all right? All I knew about the MGM hack is what I had seen in the headlines and what I learned from the subsequent data leak alerts that I received from them personally, because I've stayed in their hotels before. I knew MGM got fucked, and I knew that the hackers were screwing around with MGM's website, their hotels, their room keys, their slot machines, and I knew that all that responsibility was claimed by a hacker group called AlphV, aka BlackCat, but that's about it.
In your opinion, what do you think going to happen to all this leaked information of all the customers that ever stayed in MGM and others?
So it depends on if they pay the ransom or not. So the thing about these ransomware groups, which is kind of interesting, is they I know that there's a term, there's no honor amongst thieves, but when you're a ransomware group, if you don't honor your promise after you get paid a ransom and you do leak the data anyway, nobody's going to want to pay you. Nobody's going to pay you. Yeah. So as of right now, their data is in the hands of criminals for sure. They claim that they erase it or securely delete it. That could be true. I'm not sure. I can't speak for them, but
what I didn't know was how sinister and terrifying the whole experience of receiving ransomware can be. When you think of a major corporation getting ransomwared, it's hard to relate to for the average person. It feels so disconnected from regular everyday life until it happens to you. Imagine for a moment that you wake up one day and you open your computer and every single item, every folder, every piece of media, every login to every account is suddenly non-existent. Maybe you own a business or a side hustle. Every file and every folder is inaccessible, renamed with some gibberish extension and an error message. Every single one. I personally used to do freelance video editing before Trilogy Media, storing the media files and personal information of dozens of clients. Thankfully, I only have to imagine the panic that would have set in if I woke up one day and discovered that all of that data that I'm responsible for was stolen and held hostage at the threat of being publicly published and or destroyed. It's hard to relate to a threat that you think you could never be a target of, until you are. Like this man, an innocent entrepreneur way past retirement age, the owner of an accounting firm that just got ransomwared by AlphV.
this is their entire chat log with me. But yeah, they're so mean too. That's the live chat. So let's see if the live chat's still up. Between, like, we could actually...
Between who?
Us and the ransomware group that hack MGM.
Oh, from the company that reached out to you guys.
Yeah.
What was the context of the chat? It was like just...
Going back and forth about money.
So it's between the company that reached out to you and the hackers?
No, so we were negotiating on their behalf with the ransomware group.
Oh, so you were talking to the ransomware group?
Yeah.
In the chat?
Yeah. Yep. And that chat's down now.
That's like creepy.
Yeah, you have to.
So you were like live, like negotiating with hackers.
Yeah, and originally they wanted a lot more money, about double the price. And
Well, and what do you like? How do you negotiate with like a cyber criminal? Like, what do you like? How do you even like? How do you what? How does that even? What does that sound like? I don't know. I can't even fathom that.
So picture this, a live chat. Like a customer service live chat. Only instead of talking to Amazon about returning an item, you're talking to AlphV, who have kidnapped your entire digital life, and you're typing to negotiate with them to get your shit back.
Is this like a common part of your work?
Yeah, I mean, we do all kinds of stuff, but ransomware negotiations part of it. I just thought it was ironic because this is the same group that hacked MGM and Caesars.
It's the same. Wow.
And that's their decryptor right there that they sent after.
What does that mean?
So all the files on the whole server, or their entire company in this case, was encrypted. So they sent.
So they couldn't view their own files.
Exactly, and then you see this right here, this file. There's all these different things. So there's one for Mac, Windows, Linux, all the different operating systems. So you would open that, and then this right here, this looks like a virus, but it actually is a decryptor that, as long as you run it, it'll unencrypt the entire file system.
So the elderly owner of this local accounting firm, who we're keeping anonymous, woke up and discovered that every single file on his entire company's server had been hacked and encrypted with BlackCat ransomware.
Yeah, and this is what he's seen on every single page on his computer. It said to go
on his computer.
So every file on his computer was encrypted, and then every folder there was a text file that had a link, and inside of that link it would explain somebody how to download Tor or whatever, and it would give you a link to this page, which would say your network was.
So what if he tried to open one of his files? What would he see?
It would just not open. It would be a random file extension like .abcd123. Let's create a document, an empty file. We're going to name it trilogy.tech. There's regular text in it. So imagine this is an important business document, right? This has social security numbers in it. This has credit card numbers. This has, anything sensitive related to your company or employees or customers or credit card data, whatever you may be storing in your company that's important. Let's say you come back to your computer one morning and it looks like this. And underneath of it, you have something that looks like you have been ransomware. This is what every single file on your entire network for your whole business, they look like this. They just look like numbers and letters, and you don't know how to decrypt this. Like, how can I get it back to the state that it was just in, where it was easy to read? It was just a regular text file a second ago. Now it looks like garbage, right? But here, what these ransomware actors will do is they'll leave a note so that, because your average person that runs into this is going to say, what is this? They're not going to know what to do. So they'll leave a note with each file and they'll say evilsite.onion, which is on the dark web. So this will be their chat portal where they will negotiate with you to get your files back, and they'll give you the decryption key. So after you go to this evil site, you negotiate and you make the decision to make a payment, what they do is they're going to give you a decryption key. They would give you one file that's going to spider throughout the whole system or the whole company, and it's going to decrypt their whole file system.
Do you know how fucking unique is this? That we're talking right now to a person
I've never even heard of
who
this.
talked to the same group who fucked MGM.
Yeah.
Every file unreadable, every personal detail of every single one of his clients stolen, and every folder on his computer containing a brand new text file with instructions from Alpha on what to do next.
Can you imagine we log in, like even for my edits, and I try to open my edits and it's just gibberish, like it's all gone. Like I would have a meltdown.
Alpha will tell you to download the Tor browser and visit a dark web link that they give you that will take you to your user portal.
When he goes on his computer and everything is gibberish.
Yeah, everything was gone.
Oh,
yes.
shit.
And then inside of every single folder on
They
his
give him a
computer,
direction in a folder to go to this link, and it gives him, it tells him you've been
It actually says it right here. So it says,
Attention. Important files on your network have been encrypted, and now they have VJCBMFI extension. In order to recover your files, you need to follow instructions below. Sensitive data on your network was downloaded. If you don't want your sensitive data to be published, you have to act quickly. Data includes employees' personal data, CVs, driver's licenses, social securities, complete network map including credentials for local and remote services, private financial information including client data, bills, budgets, annual reports, bank statements, manufacturing documents including datagrams, schemas, drawings in SolidWorks format, and more. Samples are available on your user panel. Caution: do not modify encrypted files yourself. Do not use third-party software to restore your data. You may damage your files, and it will result in permanent data loss. To view full instructions, download and install Tor browser from torproject.org. Then navigate to your user panel here.
do not use third-party software to restore your data. You may damage your files. It will result in permanent data loss.
Is that true?
Yes.
What blows my mind is how official and structured all of this is. Every part of this sounds like it's some kind of official business transaction, making you forget for a fleeting moment that this is a well-rehearsed hostage negotiation.
This long link here, which brought us to the chat, where you could negotiate back and forth. At this point,
They removed it, so you can't, it's not.
well, yeah, your files are already encrypted, so you have to go to this chat to talk to them. You don't even know how much they want yet.
Once you're inside your user portal, you'll first see the initial explanation from Alpha about what has happened.
Greetings from Alpha, also known as BlackCat. Firstly, we would like you to notice the discount timer. After the timer expires, price will increase dramatically and actions will be taken. Secondly, we would like to warn you that if you remain silent, ignore our messages, waste time, or do not comply to our rules and terms, devastating attacks on your servers will start. Also, if we don't come to an agreement with you regarding the payment, we will start looking for the customers for your personal data. In case that we will not find customers for your data, we will post it for everyone in our blog, where each file is indexed and available for free search. This blog is being daily monitored by hundreds of media portals. If you would like to know more about our group, please visit the following links.
You then have the demand for ransom money. along with instructions on how to send it.
You have only 2 ways out of this situation. Option 1. After we receive your payment, you will receive the following: decryption application for Windows and ESXi, detailed penetration overview with main kill chain and security recommendations, proof that we have securely deleted your data, our word of alpha, also known as BlackCat, that we will not perform attacks on you in the future. In case if you will need an outsourced recovery team, we can suggest an approved team which have successfully worked with us on multiple occasions. Option 2. In case you refuse to make the payment, the following will occur: deletion of your unique decryptor after 1 week of you being silent, permanent public indexed hosting for all of your stolen files, powerful DDoS attack for all external services discovered during attack, targeted voice calls to your competitors and clients.
Then you have a live chat option to communicate with Alpha directly.
See how it says write a message at the bottom here?
So is that a dark web hosted chat forum or something?
Yeah, so if you see at the top here, it says .onion. Here's a live chat, which is 24/7. You can attach files to it even.
And finally, you have a trial decryptor to prove legitimacy.
What is trial decrypt?
So trial decrypt, a lot of the ransomware groups do this. So let's say you don't trust that they're actually going to decrypt or have the ability to decrypt your files. You could they usually give you 1 or 2 files to do for free. So you could put one in there, decrypt the file.
So that it works.
Yeah, you'll see.
So it's
that
like
it
kind of
works.
like a proof, right? Like a chart.
Yeah, like try before you buy type of thing.
So, my God. So Monero is cheaper, they're offering because it's safer for them to use?
Yeah, it's a lot harder to find.
Then why don't they just use that exclusively? Why even open the door for something
Because
less?
in most cases you have to buy Bitcoin first and then trade it for Monero on an exchange.
I see.
It's literally like the captors putting one of the hostages on the phone to prove that the kidnapping is real. Fucking mind-blowing.
You have 24 hours to comply. Good luck.
For everyone watching, it's a lot of money. It's the amount is really kind of irrelevant, but
Yeah.
it's a lot.
I mean, the fact that you doing this, the fact that people with companies coming to you, asking you to negotiate with criminals.
I've heard of like,
How badass is that?
Well, I've heard of ransomware and hacking, and I get that concept, but like you never think about the communication of the actual negotiation that happens between these anonymous criminals.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is if you can have a third party do that, especially somebody that knows a little bit about computers, it takes the emotion out of the equation.
Can I point out the name of this file?
Sure.
Not willing to budge.png.
Yeah, that's what I named it.
Oh, you named it. Okay, I thought they sent it like that. I was gonna say that's cryptic. No pun intended.
No, it was me.
okay, I thought maybe they did that.
Not really.
Oh my God.
Okay, just don't drag it out. I would like to remind you that important working information, SQL databases, working documents, client data, etc., was downloaded from your servers. If we agree, you'll get a decryption program for your entire network. All files will be in their original state. Also, the data will be completely destroyed when they are downloaded to our server, and everything will remain confidential. You will also receive valuable security information so that you will not fall into similar situations in the future. If we do not reach an agreement with you, we will look for a buyer for your data, most likely your competitors, the media, the tax authorities. We are waiting for a decision from you immediately.
So how did he send him money?
So we had to convince, him, that he was going to get his files back in the first place because the person we were dealing with was elderly.
Right.
He was the owner of the company, and all of his, he had everything on a computer. He had which for an elderly person, usually they have a lot of paper records. He didn't have a ton of paper records. So we had to convince him, like, hey man, you really have to pay this in the time allotted because you see, you have 0 days, 8 hours until this,
Dude, it's an invoice. It's like an invoice for a kidnapping.
Yeah, they don't play around. And you see the difference in price between Bitcoin and Monero. See how Bitcoin, they wanted that amount?
Right.
Monero
and Monero is, yeah.
Right, and the reason why they wanted that, because Monero is a lot harder to track than Bitcoin.
So why can't someone just get the crypto wallet, and I'm talking out of my ass here, but
Yeah.
the crypto wallet of the criminals and track them and arrest them? It blows my mind that this can function so seemingly legit, and it's like no one is doing anything about
The
it.
point of crypto in the first place was anonymity. So now it's just even gotten better, you know?
But who's keeping it?
Untraceable.
Who's keeping it anonymous? Is it like Coinbase and like the providers?
No. So there's a blockchain, and that's a whole other.
And who runs that? Like,
The people.
the people.
The people. Yeah, I mean, there's a big Bitcoin community behind you. So
The people.
It just
Maybe
it hurts. It hurts my brain because I just don't understand.
Hello. It's been quite some time. Give us your answer.
We are speaking on behalf of the company. The owner is 81 years old and not familiar with the Tor browser or anything to do with ransomware. What is a realistic financial figure to get this resolved? The owner thinks this is just a virus, and he said he's willing to take his paper records and start over. We advised against that, but he is not going to be a huge cash opportunity for you, maybe a few thousand. He insisted that the only money he has is enough to pay his personal mortgage for his family monthly. If you have proof otherwise, we'd love to see that.
Hello, Ryan. We are familiar with both you and your work. I know that you will always offer us the worst offer, so I will turn down your few thousand. Tell the owner of this company that if he doesn't pay the $225,000 ransom, we'll post the hack to our blog, as well as posting data from this company's servers there. In the end, his reputation would be over. He'll be lucky that he won't go to jail for leaking such information.
I understand what you are threatening, but he doesn't care if you have or release his data. He just wants his computers to come back online. He is 81 years old and barely uses email. He cannot afford a $225,000 ransom, not even close to that. So I guess the only option is, you can take an offer that we both agree on or just release the data that you have.
Proof to the contrary is his company revenue, as well as his location, and we know that in the country where he does business there are very strict laws about leaking personal data, and if he doesn't pay us, he will be bankrupted by the state, and he will owe a lot more than the ransom amount.
This is incorrect. Please look into the files that you have access to. He cannot pay your ransom. It's either you get something or nothing at all.
Personally, I'll settle for $225,000. Let's start from that amount if you want to successfully complete these negotiations.
Then this conversation is over.
If your last offer is a few thousand, we decline. Our reputation is worth a lot more than that.
Give us a counter offer.
We give you 24 hours to make a new offer. Otherwise, we will post the data to our blog. You can read it at the link. If you can pay in XMR and do it in the next few days, I agree to make a discount and reduce the buyback price to $205,000.
This is from me. What you don't understand is that he cannot even afford.
Afford even $205,000. He can't afford $100,000 for that matter. The goal is to make a deal with you. If you look at his financials, since you have them, you will see why it is not possible to pay you the amount you're asking. Look at the last 12 months of financials for yourselves.
With all due respect to you and this old man, this is my final offer. You have 24 hours to agree to it.
And then they said, with all due respect to you and this old man, this is my final offer. You have 24 hours to agree to it.
Otherwise, we will publish information about the hack, as well as data from the servers of this company on our blog. I say in advance that we are not interested in amounts lower than $205,000, because if we are cheap, we will ruin our reputation, and it is worth much more than this amount.
Understood. I guess your reputation is more important than getting anything at all out of this, with all due respect.
You're almost like a manager or an agent. Like an agent negotiates for pay for movies. You're like an agent for these people that have their kids kidnapped or something.
Yeah, and if they don't pay, they're really going to get their data leaked, which means all of their clients are going to suffer too. So not only are they going to go out of business, but every single person, in this person's case, for the last 12 years, is going to have their data exposed, including social security numbers, tax records, because they're an accountant, and it would have been really bad if he didn't make this payment. So
This is insane.
Ash, I'm not gonna say the amount of money, look at this. And because I cannot get what I want, I'm very upset, so you only have 6 hours to negotiate with us. It's all or nothing.
I mean, this is legit like someone kidnaps. You gotta look at this. Yeah.
We received a call back from the victim. He is willing to take a loan out to pay you. Let's make a deal. Also remember that it takes a bit of time to convert USD to Bitcoin or Monero, and he's 81 years old, so we'll have to teach him how to do that. The offer right now is somewhere in the range of $30,000 to $35,000 as of this moment, because he has to borrow these funds from the bank, which can happen quickly.
My suggestion was made above and you had exactly 24 hours to agree to it. There was no response, so we proceeded as we warned you. We do not agree to the amount of $30,000 to $35,000. As I said before, the minimum price is $205,000. I can put you back on that condition. If you do not agree to it again, we will be forced to publish the data of this company on our blog. You have 15 hours remaining. Make a decision.
If this isn't a wake-up call to take precautions when you're browsing the internet, then I don't know what the hell is. Hacking, ransomware attacks like the one from Alpha, and data breaches are real threats that can impact any one of us at any time. It's not just big companies that are targets. Hackers are constantly finding new ways to exploit individuals too. That's why staying vigilant, aware, and protected online is more crucial than it's ever been. And our partner Guardio is your one-stop shop to online safety and complete scam protection. With Guardio's real-time browsing protection, you're completely safeguarded against harmful sites and phishing attempts as you surf the web. Let's not forget, all it took for the entirety of MGM's operations to be halted was one single vulnerability, one single slip-up. That's all it takes. You need a bodyguard in your browser looking out for you, scanning links as you click them to make sure they're not malicious, and Guardio does just that, blocking threats in real time before they can do your computer any harm. But Guardio goes so far beyond just browsing. Their patented social media hijacking protection keeps your social accounts safe from unauthorized access or hacking. I get dozens of emails every single week from people asking me to help them get their stolen Facebook or Instagram accounts back. Unfortunately, in most cases, by that point, it's too late. Prevention is infinitely easier than damage control, and cheaper. We're so fortunate to not only be partnered with Guardio here at Trilogy Media, but to be able to offer it to our viewers at an even more affordable cost. But you have to use our direct link. It's guard.io/trilogy. Type that into your browser or click the link in the description beneath this video. You also get to try it completely free for an entire week, and they'll email you 2 days before the trial expires, giving you plenty of time to explore all of the other amazing safety features that they offer under their umbrella. Spam email notifications, phishing scam protection, social media hijacking prevention, and even data leak monitoring. MGM being hacked affects more than just MGM. It affects every single one of their customers too. This is the email that I personally received from MGM, warning me to keep an eye out on my identity and credit. I mean, it's great that they warned me, but goddamn. With your Guardio subscription, you get 24/7 dark web monitoring, and they'll alert you immediately of any new data leaks that you're involved in, whether the hacked company decides to warn you or not. With your 7 days free, you can scan right now to see where your information has been leaked, so you know which accounts you need to go change passwords for. The results might surprise you. In this digital age, your online safety should be a top priority, and your answer is Guardio. Go to guard.io/trilogy and secure your digital life now.
We are trying to make a deal with you. This man is borrowing money from the bank to pay you. Can you please renegotiate the number a bit lower than $205,000?
I see that you are trying to resolve the situation, and the owner of this company is also trying to pay us a ransom. We understand that no one wants to give away that amount of money, so we agree to reconsider the amount. We're offering you $190,000.
That's way too much. The guy literally does not have $190,000. We have proof that he has to borrow almost every penny. If there is something you have that we are not aware of, please send it to us so we can relay that information to him. He is not a wealthy man. This is not Montclair. I know you are a reputable ransomware group. I've heard of you in many conversations. I know you will honor your word and provide a decryption key. We just want to make a deal and move forward.
If you have heard of us, you should know that we have a reputation. If we agree to a cheap offer, every company will bargain with us. This is just a waste of our personal time, and in the future, companies that can pay $1 million will bargain with us and offer us a measly $20,000 to $30,000 compared to that amount. Do you understand? Out of respect for the fact that you are trying to solve this situation, I am willing to listen to your proposal. But do not expect me to agree to it if it is very different from my proposal. And because you are making me very upset, you only have 6 hours left. It's all or nothing.
Imagine? Can you fucking imagine?
I can, unfortunately. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it would suck. I mean, that's why it's important to keep yourself secure.
How did the hackers find him? Like he's just a random accountant?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can show you how easy people are targeted just by accident. You know,
Like you said,
Yeah,
MGM
more-
was social engineering and it was an employee, but was it a similar thing here?
his was super simple actually. His he had some external VPN that all the employees used, and he left it with default credentials. And there was some vulnerability within that software which gave them access, and they just pivoted around, stole the files over who knows how long of a period of time, and then when they felt like they had sufficient information, which seems like based on what they said that they had, it was a customized message. And when they felt like they had a sufficient data, they just encrypted everything and they already knew the guy's financials, they knew what he had. So what's he gonna say? I don't have the money. When he's an accountant, they see his money, they see his files.
Yeah.
What's he gonna say?
That's why they didn't come up with a number like, we need $100 million, because they see there is no money on his account. So they know exactly how much money he had.
That's exactly right.
Let me give him a call, but he was very confident that he had to borrow from the bank to even come close to your numbers. We are in a weird situation, because what you don't realize is he doesn't have the funds.
In the country he is in, he can take out a corporate loan to improve his business. Also, as he is in the legal services business, he must have insurance. In our experience, in most cases, insurance pays at least $30,000 to $40,000 in case of a burglary.
You have all the files. He does not have insurance. Waiting to hear from him. Please give me some time. Thank you.
Don't tell us that this person has no money. He just doesn't want to shell out that kind of money.
I am not telling you that because we want a good deal. I'm telling you because he doesn't have it.
In any case, we are better off not accepting petty cash than taking it. For if we take it, we will ruin our reputation. We are waiting for your offer.
This is insane. Like the fact that you're like having conversations.
Oh, there's a long conversation with the guy.
I would.
I don't know if it was one guy or multiple guys, but if I had to guess, it's multiple guys.
If we can put together $125K, how much time would you be willing to give him? There's no guarantee that the bank will give $125K, and he doesn't have cybersecurity insurance. We have been trying to raise funds all day. We are at a little under $75K right now. Would you be willing to wait and settle for $75K if we can somehow get the bank to loan up to $75K?
We are prepared to wait for the sum of $175,000. You have until Monday, provided you send $175,000 to XMR. I don't advise you to use Bitcoin because in that case you will pay 15% commission on top. But I only agree to wait if you text me now that you agree to $175,000 and promise to have it by Monday. You have 3 more hours to decide.
How do you not freak out that they're gonna hack you while you're talking to them? Like,
How can you trust them?
Well,
You can't trust them.
you definitely can't trust them, but you know that based upon the media, you know, you could see that people are paying, and if I could get their site to load, I could show you how many other sites that they have. You know, you could publicly download their data. So, like
God,
other companies that have refused to pay, it's out there.
That's a fucked up situation if it's like you willingly letting people data, social security, everything go publicly online and you don't want to do fucking anything about it.
well, it's not about not doing anything about it, but it's like, you know, they're requesting $50 million. It's like, you know, how do you fight it or even make a decision on that kind of thing?
Well, they need Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Like I said, we are still waiting on approval from multiple banks to get $75K. If we can get the $75K, how can we convert it to XMR in that time frame?
You can do this through various exchanges, such as Binance and any of its counterparts. Since we already have a lot of experience in this business, I advise you to make multiple Binance accounts for multiple people, because exchanges have a habit of blocking amounts that exceed 40 to 50,000, so it is better to have multiple accounts at the exchange for different people with approved documents, rather than keep everything in one account and maybe become because of this, you have to wait very long for transaction approval at Binance, because it will find your actions suspicious.
Okay, I will let him know. Can we come to an agreement at 75K while I try to teach an 81-year-old man how to get XMR? You know that's not going to be easy.
No, we'll only settle for $175,000. You can send $75,000, and we can give you extra time to pay another $100,000. But $75,000 is not acceptable.
I don't know how to explain it any better. 75K is coming from a loan. That loan is from him personally, and not the company. I know you don't have any sympathy, but this is all of his money, and the bank is the only reason even 75K is possible.
The first thing that comes to my mind is to take out a loan for a few people. Through this, you can raise the whole amount. I am already making concessions to you by giving you a huge discount, plus agreeing for you to send first what you are about to receive, $75,000. And then I agree to give you extra time for you to send another $100,000. It is useless to talk to me about feelings, for I have a lot of experience in this field.
Shodan is basically like a search engine for the entire internet.
How is it different than Google?
So it scans for IP addresses and devices on the internet. Device, webcam, and then this is, I'm gonna open just a few of these. Some are logins. They might just be admin, but there should be some cameras that are accessible for anybody to see. These are just people's houses in some cases.
And why are they here?
Because Shodan is just scanning the internet at all times. The point of Shodan is to identify devices on the internet. It's like a search engine for IP addresses or for fingerprints, identifiers of devices. Let's say you had a light bulb that you bought at Walmart or Amazon that connects to the internet. So let's say there's 100,000 of them out there that are actively connected to the open internet. You could use a tool like Shodan, which is not a criminal's tool, but criminals can abuse it, like most other things. They could now search Ashton Smart Bulb on Shodan. Now they have a list of all devices connected to the internet that Shodan has found. So attackers may, let's say they have a vulnerability in that Smart Bulb. So now they have all of their targets. They could export them, they could scrape them from that site, and now they have 100,000 victims that they may not have had prior, based upon one identifier.
I am not talking to you about feelings. I am talking to you about facts. You realize he isn't a huge company, right? This isn't like a hospital system that has millions of dollars to send you. He's been in business for 4 generations. That's why he has a lot of documents. Look at the EXIF data on the files. Some are very old.
That is why I am not demanding $1 million from this company. I realize that $1 million is a real exorbitant amount for you, but $175,000 is something you can pay. Let's remember our recent conversation, where you said that you can only find 30 to 40,000, and now we are talking about $75,000. That's double the amount we discussed recently.
We are trying to get closer to your number. As I've told you, I am not affiliated with this company. I am just speaking on their behalf. I make no money from this at all. I'm being honest with you. $75,000 is the best he can do. Think of an 81-year-old man that is willing to give you $75,000 if the bank approves him. I don't know why you wouldn't accept that.
They need anyone from the cybersecurity community, but somebody like an accountant, like the guy that we were dealing with in this specific case, there was no way he was going to be able to deal with these guys.
How many times do you think you've been in a situation where you're negotiating like that for someone?
Quite a few. And I didn't know it at this time because they didn't hack the casinos yet.
But they were probably
when they
working
did,
on it.
I was like, oh my gosh, I just spoke to these people through their, when they were ransoming our client.
Yes, I understand. Maybe you should call a few more banks to come up with the $175,000.
Man, he's been on the phone with banks all day. He's an accountant. If anyone can get approved for a loan, it's him. So when I say $75K in a loan is what they are approving, that's what he can get.
If he is an accountant, he should have known to insure his company to get rid of such risks. It is not my fault that he did not insure his company, and now he has to call different banks. My final offer is $175,000. I can make a concession, accept $75,000 from you first to give you extra time to find the rest. Also, don't forget you have 2 hours to respond.
It is your fault that he is ransomwared. Let me know if you want to make a deal. I leave the office in 16 minutes and I want to either tell him that we made a deal or we didn't. The issue with your concession is that if he can't come up with the additional 100K, then he doesn't get his files back and you keep his 75K. So we need to come to an agreement.
How did your client know to which group to talk to? How did he fucking came to you guys and like, hey, this is a group, they hacked me. Did they reach out to him first? He was your client prior to this when it happened, or he just find you because of this? How did he find you?
We were referred by it's called an MSP, an IT company. The IT company said, we don't know what to do about this, so they found us.
Consider that you have won this negotiation, but I can't just agree to your terms. We agreed to $75,000, but you have to send it within 24 hours. Otherwise, the negotiations can be considered over, and we will block you in the chat room.
I will call him, but you know that it takes a short period of time to get the funds and transfer it.
Here are the new conditions. You have 24 hours to send $75,000 to our XMR account. You will then receive a decryption program that will decrypt all the files on the servers. In addition, you will receive a log file about deletion of all data from our servers, which belong to this company. If we do not receive money within 24 hours, we will close this chat and sell the data of this company to interested parties or publish it on our blog. Good luck.
So to make sure before I call him, we have a deal. If so, we will get the money from the bank and go through the process of buying XMR and sending it from separate accounts from different identities. You know this takes more than 24 hours. We will get you the 75K in XMR in the fastest way possible. They want to get back in business just as much as you want to be paid.
And this is recent. Discount price available till
Yep.
at 12:10 a.m.
Yeah, it's. But the reality of this is there's a lot of threats in this chat of them saying you have 6 hours, you have 8 hours, but really they want their money. If I stop answering them on this client's behalf, they don't get anything other than breaching data that does them no good.
Right.
So they're, as much as they want to try to bully the person around because they know, like, that's why it's good to have a representative come in and do it for you. Because if you have emotions attached, that 6 hours might scare you.
Right.
To us, we know they're BSing.
Yeah.
They want their money.
Now I'm angry with you. So if you don't meet the deadline, that's your problem. We accepted your buyout offer and it saddens me because we were looking at $225,000. I've set the terms. The clock is ticking.
Okay, then nobody wins? I don't understand what the rush is. A couple days for you to make 75K from an accounting firm? We don't need a winner, we just need to make this deal happen. 24 hours is not going to work. It's 4:30 p.m. in the USA on the East Coast. The banks don't open until tomorrow morning. Then we have to buy the XMR.
If I remember correctly, tomorrow is Friday. The banks are not open on weekends either, and I don't want the deal to drag on until Monday. So I'm angry, and that's why I told you that you only have 24 hours. If you try hard, you can buy XMR in an hour. You can do it via P2P, for example.
Banks are open on the weekends. Do a search if you don't believe me. You will get your 75K, that's a promise.
Yes, I know I'll get $75,000, but you have to do it within 24 hours. I think further discussion of the terms and conditions is pointless, because I'm 100% sure that I won't be renegotiating.
Okay, you'll get the 75K as fast as they can get it. That's the best I can tell you.
Thank you. You have 2 hours to transfer the money.
The audience who's watching us right now, and they have their own businesses, and even if you don't have businesses, how can you prevent this happening to somebody?
Well, employee education, that was one thing you said. Which,
In all of these cases, in this case it wasn't an employee, but it was I would say an incompetent IT company that didn't change the default credentials on something they really should have. So that it was technology, but it was problem due to the people associated with it.
Right.
I would say nobody's impenetrable. That'd be unrealistic for me to say that.
Art is.
Art might be. Right? I don't even know if it's a person.
Who knows?
Wow.
Maybe he works for Alpha.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Черные коты, конечно, я с ними работаю. That's my brothers and sisters. Yeah, black cats. I do associate with them. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're gonna get your house raided.
I know exactly like, yeah, I'm kidding.
We are working on converting the funds to XMR. We will keep you updated.
You have 20 minutes left. What's the status?
Trying to get people together to buy the crypto from different accounts so they don't get flagged.
This is fascinating.
Well, he has idea about casino, I had idea about MGM, and boom. And he ended up being actually the negotiator. Wow.
Okay, so Caesars paid a $15 million ransom, and MGM refused to pay. They do not believe the data thieves stole customer passwords, bank account numbers, or card details.
That's horseshit, though, right? Like, that's just
I
to
would
cover
say-
their own intentions or whatever. Like,
I
How
can't
can
say
you not
for
believe
sure.
that?
I
Yeah.
wouldn't believe it. If I was an MGM customer, if I had a rewards card with them, or if I had a room at some point, I would be.
I mean, I've stayed at their hotels. Like, I got an email about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't personally believe them, but I don't know.
MGM says it's notifying customers via email and will give free credit monitoring, identity theft protection services to those affected.
Of course, you get
course.
your free Experian.
Yeah,
here.
but like that doesn't mean that your shit wasn't stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 13 hours since you started buying XMR. What stage are you at? Enough time has passed. We are giving you one last chance.
The business owner has secured the funds. The money is being transferred into Gemini now. We are moving as fast as possible, but as you know, this is not a rapid process on our end. We will let you know next steps. Please confirm that $75,000 in XMR is still on. I know your reputation is important, and I want to make sure you will still honor this. Decryption key for all files, and nothing exposed in exchange.
I affirm.
Yeah, it's just so fucked up that,
You watch movies about like the president's daughter gets kidnapped and there's a ransom, like kidnapping ransom, even from like Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, this is something I should talk about. Ransomware as a service. You ever heard of that?
No.
So there's ransomware groups like Lockbit, which is the largest, and then there's other groups too. But they provide their ransomware as a platform. So let's say you and I decide to be criminals, or we all decide to be criminals, and we want a ransomware company. We don't have to build our own ransomware. We can use somebody else's software, use a vulnerability that we have, infect them, use their portal. We pay, let's say, a 1-2% commission to the ransomware group that created the portal, and then they'll handle everything for you. It's almost like you just infect people, they'll handle everything, and you make almost all the money.
It's like paying a hitman or paying a kidnapper to go kidnap a politician's daughter and then getting the money and then he's just giving it to you. Like,
Exactly.
they're committing all these crazy crimes on your behalf.
Yeah, but they treat it as if the people infected or encrypted are clients or customers. So they talk to, like, even though they're mean and all that stuff, they talk about it like it's some type of transaction, like they're not holding a gun to your head essentially, which they are.
This will be easier and quicker if we can transfer Bitcoin. Can you confirm that? $75,000 in BTC?
For BTC, a 15% commission is charged. You will have to pay 15% more. I strongly recommend to pay in XMR.
Okay, it will just take us a bit longer. I hope to have this all resolved tomorrow as banks are closed now. We will do everything possible to make it happen in XMR.
Great. I am waiting.
How did this resolve?
They had to pay. Yeah, which sucks.
So your client paid money, right?
They paid, yeah. They paid.
I mean, it's like a
They paid that
kidnapping,
number
right?
you saw. Yeah. And it's a very small company, a
And
small
they kept their
accounting.
word?
Yeah, they gave us a decryptor. They did not release the data.
Money was sent to the exchange just now. We need to wait on that, then can take the next steps.
Great. We're waiting.
Can I send a small XMR test payment to make sure you receive it?
Yes.
Send full payment. This is the transaction ID.
Payment will come automatically after confirmation, and you will see it here on the chat page. After payment, you will immediately receive the decryptor. Thank you for your cooperation. We won't bother you again. If you have any questions about how to use the decryptor, feel free to contact us. But in general, The logic is such that you just need to run the decryptor on the encrypted server, and the decryptor will decrypt all the data itself. I also apologize if I was rude to you. It's just our job. Unfortunately, people don't appreciate it if they are treated kindly. Have a good day.
And then after they pay, they say thank you. Like you'll see in this conversation, you'll see at the end of this conversation here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure doing business with you.
Let me see what. If
what
I
was
still
the
have
end?
it. I also apologize if I was rude to you. It's just our job. Unfortunately, people don't appreciate it if they are treated kindly. Have a good day.
That's the end.
That's the end.
With you and AlphV.
Yep. Yeah, and then
Thank
he said,
you for your cooperation.
Yeah, right before it, he said, thank you for cooperation. We won't bother you again. If you have any questions about how to use the decryptor, feel free to contact us. But in general, the logic is such that you just need to run the decryptor on the encrypted server, and the decryptor will decrypt all the data itself. And then at the end, I apologize if I was rude to you. It's just our job. Unfortunately, people don't appreciate it if they are treated kindly. Have a good day. It's like, what do you mean, dude? You just encrypted the whole company.
The English is a little bit broken too, so.
Yeah, but he almost put an old man out of business.
I know.
And,
So
took every
heartless.
dollar that he had basically to pay this. And,
To give his basically business back.
yeah, and without somebody coming in to, obviously secure their systems, they could just come back in a month and do it again. So, and that happens. So, like, you can pay a ransom and it get encrypted again.
But no
in
one's
a
going to
month.
pay it twice to the same people, right? So
They will, because what are they going to do?
Well, that was my another question is like, what are the guarantees that they're not going to do it again? What did they promise
There's
at
no
the end?
guarantee. There's no guarantee.
So he paid, your client paid, right? They give his business back, right? So everything is working. And there is no fucking guarantees they're gonna do exactly the same fucking shit tomorrow.
Well, the good thing is, in his case, he hired us, a cybersecurity company.
So he learned, right.
Yeah, there's a stronger chance that he's secure, and they'll move on to an easier target. In this case, he didn't have somebody like us or any cybersecurity company for that matter, so he was just an easy target. So if you see here in the beginning, it's AlphV. They happen to get a custom onion link, .onion. So this is accessible only through Tor, but it looks like the FBI, the FBI seized this specific domain.
So it's still,
Let me see if I can
because
find
that's
it.
the same link that was in the chat log. I'm looking at it now. So that's still down. That's good.
That is still down, yep.
Why it's not in public schools, right? When you go to school, like why it's not part of the education nowadays, especially with cybersecurity, when all movies on Netflix and everything online, everything is...
Well, because I think it's so new.
It is new, yeah. Well, same stuff with the gift cards,
When I was in
right?
high school, I feel old, but I'm not really that old. And when I was in high school, I never even gave this a second thought,
Yeah.
And look what's happening right now nowadays.
I think that anyone that's younger, older, doesn't matter, but especially the younger crowd, cybersecurity, anything related to technology, but especially cybersecurity, this is what you should be getting into, or at least giving it a shot. If you don't think you like it, at least give it a shot before you say you don't like it, because this is where the future is, and it's only going to get crazier from here in a good and bad way. So ride the wave.
Yeah.
What I've been trying to do, and what a lot of people have asked me, or they've been asking me, like, what am I trying to do with social media? Because I've never planned to be a content creator, never planned to do what I'm making videos in the first place, whatever you want to call that. I've realized that the combination between cybersecurity content and trying to protect children in whatever way that I possibly can, whether that's alerting parents or kids themselves of the dangers that I find or run into or I'm told about, I realize that it's making real impact, and that is my actual cause. That's why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to get paid. I'm not monetizing the content. I'm not, taking sponsorship deals. I'm not, I'm taking a little bit of a different approach. So I guess the only ask of me for anybody watching this video is to follow me, because not for me. I don't need to be the highlight of the video. I don't need to be I don't need any pat on the back. I have a mission, and I want this mission to go as far as it possibly can. And the only way for that to happen is for people that are watching this video to share the message, or follow me. And if they feel like it's something they in their heart they want to share with their friends and family, that they do that, because that's what means the most to me. Not the number of followers that I have, the likes on my videos, the comments. I don't care about that at all. It just matters that, I'm able to use the abilities that I have to help other people.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Links are down below in the description for all the good things. Give Ryan a follow 0 Day on social media. Check out his cybersecurity company at pentester.com. Check out our streaming platform, Trilogy Plus, for exclusive content from Trilogy Media and friends. You'll find both extended and raw versions of our YouTube videos that are too hot for YouTube, as well as original content that you won't find anywhere else. And finally, do your dark web data leak and browser scan right now at guard.io/trilogy. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.